Well, Ryan, thank you so much for that kind introduction. You know, an entry appeared in my calendar saying I was going to a cult gathering. How am I going to explain that one to the media? But Snickers was up on the board, so I feel like you guys are pretty mainstream. So I think I'll be okay. Thank you so much for the introduction, Ryan. We had such a great conversation at Junior Achievement a few weeks ago. I feel I should tell the story that I told that night, because I know one of your major presenters during your week here was Barbie. And at Junior Achievement, my company was one lumpy or two, and what we made is these little dough creatures that we accessorized with Barbie accessories. I'm sure they would probably sue me for that now, so just know it never got a cult following like Barbie did, but I was delighted to be able to share that story and have a great conversation with Ryan about all the amazing work he's doing. Can I just say this is the most amazing room I have ever seen? You should see it from up here. They have done a spectacular job of putting this together. And I'm just grateful for all of you for coming to Alberta for this conference. And now that you're here, I'd like you to stay. We have an Alberta is Calling campaign, and it has been very successful, but we would love to have more investment here, because Alberta isn't just a great place to invest. Alberta is open for business, and it's the government's main responsibility to ensure that it stays that way. In Alberta, our goal is to remove as many obstructions to investment growth and job creation as possible. We want investment dollars to stay in Alberta, and we want them to work quickly, building businesses and services and technologies, creating jobs and generating returns for investors. In a highly competitive global market, everyone is looking for a new investment as a lifeline to a hedge against uncertainty. And Alberta wants to be that investment destination. So allow me to just take the opportunity to outline what we know we've been doing that has been working. It all starts with low taxes, and this is where Alberta stands out. Our corporate income tax rate of 8%. Oh, yeah, thank you for that. It is 30% lower than the next lowest province, and our combined federal-provincial tax rate is lower than the combined rates of 44 U.S. jurisdictions. I just mentioned that because I know the NFL is here. Maybe they want to set up a team in Alberta. We'd be happy to have that. Well, now that Brady's retired, my mom's looking for a new team to support, so wouldn't it be great to have one here? We also have no payroll or capital taxes. Alberta's government is also focused intently on reducing time-consuming, resource-intensive bureaucratic processes, what we fondly know of as red tape. And in 2019, we set out to trim the regulatory burden in our province by 1/3. To do that, we collaborated with industry to identify the priorities where changes were needed and would be most effective. And this year, we are on track to reach our target of a 33% reduction in business-stifling red tape. Since 2019, we estimate that those efforts have saved job creators about $2.6 billion. Industry and investors have noticed our progress with these growth measures, created corporate income tax revenue in 2023. Even though we reduced the rates, we got the highest level of corporate income tax revenue in our entire history at $8.2 billion. Economic forecasters, banks, and financial institutions predict that Alberta will lead the country in growth over the next 2 years. So the simple fact is we're growing everywhere. Tech and innovation in our province is booming. Venture capital deals in the second quarter of this year grew by 18%. They dropped by 28% in the rest of the country. And that builds on last year's over $700 million in tech investment and venture capital, which was an increase of over 1,800% since 2017. And Calgary, in particular, is being recognized as one of the emerging markets in the tech industry, making the Tech Policy and Research Organization Startup Genome's Global Top 100 list for the first time this year. Alberta is also a leader in oil and natural gas production, and there's lots of room to continue to diversify the value chain to further process hydrocarbons. We're doing that with a plan to be net zero by 2050. For example, we've created the Alberta Petrochemical Incentive Program to do that. It funds 12% of a project's eligible capital costs for any petrochemical facility that uses natural gas as a feedstock. And we've approved more than $600 million in grants for 3 years for projects run by Dow Canada, which is producing a net zero petrochemical program, Inter Pipeline and Air Products, which is a net zero hydrogen facility. Applications represent about $36 billion worth of investment. If they all go to final investment decision, that'll create 2,400 permanent jobs. Agriculture is another area. I hope you're enjoying a delicious beef dinner tonight. Agriculture is another area where there are opportunities for tremendous growth. Alberta has so many opportunities to do more with the food that we produce and export. And to accelerate the industry, Alberta's government has created an agri-processing investment tax credit. It's a 12% non-refundable tax credit for businesses that invest $10 million or more in expanding agri-processing facilities. And of course, our film and television industry has seen tremendous growth with another tax credit that we have. It's been amazing using our province as the backdrop for productions you may have heard of, like Prey, Under the Banner of Heaven, Ghostbusters, Afterlife, and HBO's The Last of Us, to name a few. And as well, our tourism industry has, it won't be surprising to you to see everything that we have to offer in this beautiful region. Our tourism industry has more than recovered from the pandemic. We've seen substantial spending increases. We have more than recovered from 2019, which was the year before the pandemic. And we have a growth plan to double the amount of tourism dollars here. As Alberta takes hold of the tremendous potential that lies ahead of us, we are determined to ensure that everyone has a part of it in every industry. One group that's been overlooked and underserved in the economy for a long time is Indigenous peoples, and we are determined to change that. In 2019, our government created the Alberta Indigenous Opportunities Corporation with $1 billion worth of loan guarantees. Our goal was to backstop Indigenous investment in major projects for the purpose of creating streams of revenue for their communities. And over the past 4 years, our AIOC has supported more than $500 million worth of investments, benefiting nearly 30 Indigenous communities across our province, and we intend to do so much more. Seeing that success, we've expanded opportunities for Indigenous investment with AIOC support, including agriculture and telecoms and transportation projects, and we've doubled the capacity of the loan guarantee to $2 billion. This is about Alberta continuing to lead the country in making economic and social reconciliation with Indigenous peoples a reality in our province. And through our Invest Alberta Corporation, which reports directly to me, we connect with investors to find and pursue high-impact investment from across Canada and around the world. Since 2020, Invest Alberta has helped to attract almost $20 billion worth of investment in our province. So I hope that everything that I've said today makes one thing very clear. We are prepared to put in the work to do what it takes to raise Albertans' profile in capital markets and attract long-term investment. This province has an awful lot going for it. We are making the most of these favorable conditions to shape the most business-friendly environment in Canada. We want business people to succeed, and we hope that they can do their best, which is to create jobs and grow the economy. And I know just from what Ryan has said as well, scratch the surface of an entrepreneur and somebody who's been really successful, and you find that they are also our greatest philanthropists. We have been able to support so many incredible causes, including Big Brothers and Sisters, and I hope that we will be able to continue to attract here so that we can have that virtuous circle, creating jobs and wealth, as well as being able to support our communities. Alberta's government is ready to meet you with pro-growth, low-tax, free market policies. Alberta isn't just open for business, it is the best place to do business. So thank you for being here with us today. Thank you.